Syvecs. I really think my ethanol content sensor reads a little lower than what it actually is, because typically the gas station that I get ethanol at is closer to around E80 this time of year. But everything's running good, everything's running smooth. Stan has been phenomenal with his communication. Anytime I have a question, whether it's a stupid question or no matter what it is, he gives me an answer and he's super professional about it. It doesn't make me feel like I am, you know, a bother to him in any way, shape, or form, which is pretty refreshing. Currently have 3 maps on the car: map 1, map 2, and map 3. Map 1 is low boost. From my understanding, it's 31 psi of boost. That map, I also had him give me a little burble because I kind of missed it, to be honest. Maybe it's the racer in me. Map 2 is around 33, 34 psi, and map 3 is currently at 40 psi. So I've done some test hits with it, had a little fun. I'll put them in the video right now. So here's the log from that 4.3 60 to 130. Just wanted to kind of show a little bit of what the car's doing. It's not an aggressive tune at all. I don't want to show everything because I don't want to have Stan mad at me for showing ignition timing and everything else. But I wanted to show the intake air temps first. So this is the beginning of the pull right there, and intake air temps were 29 degrees. This is second gear. So now I'm going through the gear. Third gear, it actually goes down a little bit, 26 up to 29. And by the end of the run, so I went all the way to the top of 5th gear on this closed course, it only got up to 37. So it started at 29, went up to 37. Ambient air temp was around 75 degrees Fahrenheit. So very happy with how the intercooler is performing so far. And max boost, let's see, was right around 3056. So this map, the target is right around 40 psi. Very conservative ignition timing. So I'll give a couple updates as far as issues I've had since the last video. When installing the diverter valve block-off plate, I reused the factory bolts, or at least I thought they were the factory bolts. They were a little too long. I actually allowed the plate to be loose, and I didn't realize it. So that was a pretty big boost leak. I was able to figure that out pretty quickly and got that fixed. The only other issue I'm having right now is the Bull-X exhaust. The way that Bull-X exhaust works is it's got a CAN bus controller that hooks up to the CAN bus in the car and allows you to use the factory buttons. It then has a valve that goes in the engine bay that's hooked to your vacuum lines, and you have to run a vacuum line all the way to the back of the car from the engine bay. So I installed the new line in the engine bay, hooked it right up to the intake manifold. It then came off the actuator at the exhaust in the back of the car. I put it back on, zip tied it back on, and now for some reason it is stuck open again. So not quite sure what the issue is there. The exhaust sounds great, but I kind of miss the reliability of the factory valves being electronic and not having to worry about a vacuum leak or a boost leak caused by them. Beyond that, the tuning has gone great. Stand is great. I really don't want to turn it up anymore at the current ethanol content level. I think that the times that it's running in 75 degrees weather is more than adequate. I'm just not out to try to set any records, I guess, with this car. I just want a fun, reliable car. I do plan on ordering some either VP X98 or some 1-ethanol R for when I do go to the track. I bought tickets to go to Maple Grove Raceway. It's a roll race August 3rd, so looking to have a good time there. Want to have some good quality ethanol in the car so that way we can turn it up and hopefully go fast at that event. Again, I don't plan to ask him to push it to 10 tenths. I think this car will be plenty of fast enough at 9 tenths, even 8 tenths, to be honest with you. So goal today is we're gonna get some fuel, fill up, go for a little ride, show you guys what it's like during the daytime, do a little walk around the outside of the vehicle, and honestly just enjoy the day and enjoy the drive. Back roads now, enjoying the car. Haven't really had any fun with it yet, except for in straight line. So let's see how laggy it is and how bad the turbo is when we're going through some twisty roads. shifts hard when it needs to shift hard. It just drives very, very nice for the power level of car. Obviously that has a lot to do with the transmission and the TCU tune, Unitronic stage 4. It goes together very, very well. Are there a couple things I wish it did? Of course. I wish in sport mode it shifted to the next gear before 4,000 RPM. In comfort or drive mode, I wish it didn't shift to 7th gear by 40 miles an hour. So there's definitely some of those issues that are still there, but as far as Stijn and what he's done with Syvecs, it's pretty phenomenal. Very, very impressed. This is definitely a car I could let my wife hop in and drive without having to explain to her how to drive it. She can hop in and drive this car to work without having to worry about changing anything or hitting any buttons or doing anything like that. It's that good. Guess we can kind of go over a brief overview of some things with Syvecs that might not be for everybody. So the first thing that I noticed was cruise control. So the TTRS has standard cruise control, supposed to work and function without any issues. I haven't heard anybody complain about it, so maybe I'm the first. I typically drive to work, it's about an hour, and during that drive there's a lot of hills up and down. So on the stock ECU, I've never had any issues, regardless of what turbo is on. It kept that requested speed within 1 mile an hour. Very good at doing its job. I don't know if Syvecs just struggles because of the size of this turbo and the fact that it doesn't spool as quickly as, you know, a stock turbo. But cruise control goes up and down by anywhere from -5 mile an hour to +5 mile an hour. So if you're going down a hill and you have the cruise control set at 75, it can go 80, 81 miles an hour sometimes, and when it does that, it will actually turn itself off. The same thing with going up a hill. If it doesn't catch speed quick enough, if it can't get to the requested speed, it will actually shut off going up a hill. If the car isn't your daily driver, if it's not something you do a lot of highway driving with, you'll probably never notice that. But it is something that I noticed. It is something that I kind of miss from the stock ECU. The next thing isn't necessarily an issue with Stijn, my tuner, or Syvecs, but more of maybe how I'm used to tuning cars remotely. So there's no way for Stijn to send me a file after reviewing a data log and me load that file and go out and get him another log and kind of rinse, lather, repeat, if you will. Every time that I need to upload a new file, Stijn has to remote in, and from there he is flashing the file himself. From my understanding, it has to do with the way that the files are encrypted. It's a Syvecs limitation. Stijn is great with it. He's phenomenal when it comes to scheduling time. He always makes time. However, I'm sure it would save him a ton of time and the end user a ton of time if he could just send me an updated revision and I could flash it on the spot, like you do with stock ECU, or like you do with pretty much any other tuner such as Cobb or ECU Tech. So cars. unless they are physically able to be there, or they can remote into your laptop and flash the car for you. It can definitely make tuning the car take a little longer than what you might expect if you're used to getting revisions and flashing them yourself. I have a couple more mods that I plan on doing, and I actually have a couple mods that I plan on removing, just to make the car better fit my needs. So if you can, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time when I'm racing. Have a great day, guys.